Hi guys, sorry for the disturbance. Uh, yeah, let's start the webinar. Okay guys, myself this is Rashika, currently working as a senior tech lead for Data Foundry, uh, mostly into UI technologies. So that's that. That's all. So let's start our session for AngularJS. And today, we're just giving you a brief on what we're going to give on the course of AngularJS. So I just give an overview of what is AngularJS and the history of AngularJS, why need to go for AngularJS, and what is the core feature like a single page application for AngularJS, and the core concept like data binding, directives, filters, and how it is being implemented in MVC and what difference with MVVM, and some practical examples on AngularJS. So coming to before starting with any technology, we should know the basics of the core concept, like who invented it and when it is. So it is done with Misko and Adam in 2009. It is a product from Google. Why Google has invented this, like, and they have identified like there is a boom coming up with web technologies. So they just want to give some framework for that. So they included this AngularJS in that. So they just started with an ideal project and later on it went with a big success. So right now we have this. Now coming to what is AngularJS. First, why we have to choose this AngularJS. We haven't so many functionalities like open libraries like jQuery and so stuff. Like what specifically AngularJS is doing. So before going with why AngularJS, we'll see like what is AngularJS. To see like whether it's a library or a framework. Uh, to be in fact, like there's a big argument is going on, like it's a framework, it's a library. To be in fact, it's a combination of both, I can say. From my perspective, like it's a framework most over, where framework is built on top of libraries. So your code is being used, if your code is using the libraries or you're using the framework. Yeah, I'm using framework where the framework is calling the libraries. Coming to AngularJS is more provided in an open source framework where you can take any libraries and you can build it in your framework and you can start modifying the needs according to your functionalities. So coming to the core concept, like what is data binding and dependency injections, we can see it in your live examples. I can better explain this in your live example so that you can better understand what is what. So yeah, why we need to choose for AngularJS? First thing is it is done in a proper way of MVC. So well experts from Google has designed this in a proper MVC structure where you can easily maintain your code, and if someone is looking into your code also, they can understand what is happening in your code structure. Okay. Yeah. Now we'll see like what is MVC and what is MVW. So MVC, I think most of you guys will know, like it's a model view controller where you're splitting your business logic and your data logic separately. So if you can see, if you can split an AngularJS into core components, we can see a model and a view and a controller. So nothing like a model is which holds the data, a view which represents the data, and the control acts as a glue between them. You can also see AngularJS in a different perspective, like model, view, whatever. What is whatever? Whatever, it can be a controller, a directive, and unit test. So we'll see these concepts like controller, directive, and unit test in the coming slides. So that will give you a better picture of whatever. Yeah. Also, the best concept is why we need to go for AngularJS. Since we can see other frameworks, like other libraries like jQuery and all. Why I'm going with an AngularJS? Basic thing is it makes writing the code very easy. I can write these things very easily and very dynamically. Suppose if you want to modify any content of the para, like I have to in jQuery, I have to define some ID and I have to do a DOM manipulation on top of that. So which is being avoided in AngularJS, like doing DOM manipulation for everything is not possible and it's like tricky, and I'm making the code very complicated. So if you see the first part of the code, like this part, what I'm doing here, I'm creating an ID for a para and I'm getting it here and I'm setting a text here. So I can do this here like this, like what is this? Okay, this is like an expression for me in AngularJS where I'm setting a value here. So how it is actually working? this will be covered in next slide. Let's see. Uh, with the behavior, see, coming to the another concept, like why I have to choose for AngularJS is a directive concept. See, still now what we have seen, like tags, predefined tags and elements which is provided from HTML we are using. But there are cases where I want to design my own elements. I have to use them, and where I can define my reusable components. Like, see, if you are saying some Java code, like where you are defining a function and you are calling that function wherever you want, like how it can be done in AngularJS. Like I have to define one element or tag, a date picker. Suppose if I'll define one date picker element, okay, and I customize it and I want to use multiple places. So how it can be possible? This feature will be provided in AngularJS, where I will define one directive and I will use it wherever I want. So I'll show you one live example where I'm using this concept of directives in my live projects. So yeah, so this will give you a better picture how effectively we are using this. So this is the project. This is an implemented project for Johnson & Johnson. Okay. This is completely developed from AngularJS and Bootstrap. So if you can see this header part, like entire header part is done in one div. It's an div which is included in HTML. It is getting me this everything. How it is be done? Because if I am using why we designed this you can ask us, like, why you design this in I can write it directly, right? Why you want to use a directive? I have 7 similar projects where it is have the similar look and feel. I don't want to rewrite the same code. What I will do, I'll just call the directive. I have the code which is already defined. So what I will do, I'll just call the directive and I start using that. Okay. So let's see how it is being in a live example. Also, it will give you a better picture what to do. Yeah. So how it is being done? What we did is we'll come back, like what is this of ng app and script and all. You just forgot for time being. I'll explain you next slides. So to cover up what is done here, it would be easy if you can see this. So what I will do is now I'll just launch it in here. So this is the same. Now what I will do, I'll just copy this one more time. Okay, so what I'll see 2 things. Like I'm just using this wherever I want. For time being, I'm just showing it here, but I can use this directive wherever I want. So what actually it is doing? So we are just declaring one directive, okay, and we are just giving one. This can be used here, and we are just defining one template. So what I'm writing here will be replaced there. See. So this is making my code reusability concepts, and I'm just making the code maintainable very easy. So that is how Angular directive show up. And yeah, coming to dependency injection, how dependency injection is working. So right now, what are the concepts we covered for why to use AngularJS is, one is like we are avoiding the DOM manipulations. One thing is like there is a dynamic concept of directives, which reduces the code of writing the stuff, and dependency injection. Yeah, what is dependency injection? It's a kind of design pattern, but what it will do is, like I just define the things what I want as a service. I can suppose if I want to write a service where it always hit with the server, like communicating with the server, and I just want to use this service wherever I want. So what I will do, I'll create one service and I inject this wherever I want. So I'm creating this dependency. So yeah, I'll show you a small example for that. Let's see, yeah, live project itself, so that you will get an idea of what exactly it is doing. So yeah, just see the high level stuff, don't go into like what is what and all. This is a service, I'm creating a service, okay, and I'm just declaring here I'm just implementing my REST calls, okay, and I'm just using the REST calls in one of my code, like what I'm doing, I'm just injecting the REST call where I want. So I created one service, I gave a name, and I'm using it here. See, I just injected that into my controller. So this will be understood like in later classes, but for high level, I'm just taking what is dependency injection. Suppose we'll see something else where it actually works me. So yeah, it will be easy. Suppose there is a concept of showing like this pop-ups. So this is a common service. I just want to use this showing this alerts wherever I want. I don't want to write this every like multiple times. I just write it once, and I want to use it wherever I want. So what I will do, I'll just create one model service, okay, which will have the predefined stuffs, and I'll just include this wherever I want. So it will get me the service. So that's how the dependency injection is working on. Yeah, now coming to single page applications. What actually a single page application is? Yeah, it's like everything is loaded into one page. In brief, I can say all your CSS stuff, all your HTML stuff, all your other JavaScript stuff are loaded into one single page. Why we are going with single page application? The basic question will come. Thing is, we can remove the rendering stuff on everything. Like it's you feel like it's your native code, like you are on the same page, you are not doing anything at all. If you can see this, yeah, I'll show you one simple code. It is also a single page application. Okay, let's see what is there inside. What we did, forgot about this is like Angular injections. Then we have implemented some bootstrap stuff for CSS. Then coming to that, we have CSS included into same page. Everything is there in same page, singular page. So this is how it works. Like we are injecting everything into one page, and it's called a single page. Then what is the advantage on this? Let's see how it works technically. Yeah. So whenever I call this Netflix stream, see, you just observe this. What will happen? Okay, it is loading. If you can see this, since it is a local system, you don't feel much, but see, it is loading the stuff into my browser. Like all the dependencies what I'm giving, it is just loading into my browser. So with that I can go with an offline work as well. Like if there is no REST calls, what I will do, I can even browse this in the entire application. Okay, so this is how it works. Like a single page application, the key features are, you'll see like there is no page refresh. I don't do any page refresh. I just navigate into the application. See, I'll go to the other page. Like I just want to add some new broker. You didn't see any rendering on that. Like you just move like as is. But what happened internally? When I'm clicking this, I just move to another page. See, I just moved to new page. It went to the another page, but you didn't see any rendering on that. And I can see in meantime, I just made a call to the REST, and I got loaded the data into. It's not a static data; it's a REST call data. But you didn't see anything in it. It's like happened in seconds. So these are the basic advantages, like no page refresh, better user experience, and you feel like you are fast and responsive, ability to work in offline. Yeah, if I get disconnected from the network also I can work, because you are loading everything into your browser. Yeah, as like every technology has its advantages and disadvantages. When you're giving more features, you might face some complexities. So more complex to build. The thing is, yeah, somehow if you are not following the standards of developing a code, yeah, you definitely feel the complexity. But if you follow the standards, like it's the very easiest application you ever seen. Also, the initial load is slow, yeah, but this can also be avoided slowly, like if you are using some min.js stuffs and all. So that will reduce the load on the payload. Okay. Now, when you need to download more resources, when you open it, yeah, because if there is downloading of more resources in the sense like when you are connecting to some CDN stuff. But if you are importing everything in your same server, I don't feel like you will get more payload. Yeah, and also clients should have just JavaScript enabled, but nowadays every browser is having the JavaScript enabled by default, so it's not, I don't consider it as an con for that, but it should have JavaScript enabled by default. Yeah, so you see this, what are the advantages and disadvantages with a single page application. But it gives more advantages with a lesser disadvantage. That should be happen. Yeah, now coming to the key features. Yeah, what are there? Like it's a simple MVC pattern. Yeah, what it will do? It will have one page, one controller, and the controller banded with and more scope, colon, view. And cross-platform, yeah, it's a platform. You can it can be enabled in cross-platform implementations as well. Simple and expressive. Yeah, what is simple and expressive? Well, I'll show you in the next slide so that you will get how simple it is and how expressive it is. Speed and performance, I think you already experienced on that, how speed and how performance it is showing that. And yeah, it can take a number of payload, like maximum users can act on the same server, but it won't get any affected because it's already loaded into your system. So you are having one setup in your browser, so any number of users can hit on at the same time. Flexibility in the development, in the sense like, yeah, suppose if you want to switch to any other layer, like since it is well defined pattern of MVC, your development will be very flexible, and you can even switch to any other layer. Like if you implement the controller layer, suppose if you want to modify from one backend system to another backend system, you can easily reroute without touching your core concepts of high level layers. Yeah, one page application, you already see like how one page application is seeing, and data binding and fortest load. I'll show you how this will be explained in this slide. I'll take this. See, if I'm writing, how come, like see how responsive it is. So you can feel that like how it is happening. It is happening by a two-way binding. So we'll see what is the concept of two-way binding. So to come into these features, we have these concepts: a directive, expressions, modules, templates, scopes, validations, dependency injections. Few topics we already covered, but what are these? We'll see it briefly in next slides. I'll just take up one small example. Like I'll try to cover most of them, but I don't think so. We'll cover in this session, but we'll try to cover most of them. What is data binding? Angular base concepts we can take. Data binding is one of the hard feature of that. How data binding is working, I'll show you in a demonstration. Like it will give a two-way binding where you are you need to write a DOM manipulation for that. Like you can do it in seconds. So we'll take one small example for your understanding. Let's see. Before going to this data binding, we'll see what is this. What we are doing, we are just including the JavaScript JS file of AngularJS, and then we are making this ready. Then what we have a directive called ng-app. What is this doing? We can see it in further classes, but I can cover all the concepts in this one session. I'll try to cover. But ng-app is like a directive where it is saying the HTML, this is an Angular application. So all these things what we are writing, it will get enabled when this div is having ng-app. Suppose if you remove this, what it will do? It will do this in this way. So we'll run this. What will happen? Let's see. See, it's not doing anything because it's for HTML. It is like a text what you're writing in that. But when you declare this is an ng-app, okay, what it is doing? It is just evaluating 1 + 1 = 2. This expression is get enabled with ng-app. So HTML is identifying this is an Angular stuff. Now, okay, so you will see like this is an expression in AngularJS. It will do an display of content, or if it is an operational stuff, it will do the operations. Yeah. So then coming to what is this? We'll see what is happening. Everybody knows this is an input parameter of type text, and what is this? This is also a standard directive which is provided by Angular. So we see like we have already seen a directive which by manual, like we have seen some other example, like this is also a directive. But how about this? This is also a directive, but these are provided by Angular by default, and these are the directives which we are generating for our needs. Okay, so that's how. So So this is a directive of ng model. So what model will do? What it will do is I'm declaring a variable here and just assigning a variable to this input tag and I'm displaying it as is. So what it will do is it will do a two-way binding. So what internally it will do is like there is no concept here, there is no controller actually, but since it's a like simple application, but also internally it will have a controller stuff where name in the view will be moved to a controller, and then it will move to view, it will move to model to view. It's like a cycle, again to controller. So it's a cyclic expression. Suppose if I initiate something in the controller, then I can see it in both the places. I'll show you how it is working in next slide. But in this model, what we're doing, we're just making a two-way binding directly via view and the model. We are not including the controller here. So what is view here? View is this. And what is model here? Model is this. Model is one which is holding the business data, and view is the one which is representing the business data. So this is how it works. So what I'm doing, I'm just updating this. So whatever I write here, it will get reflected here. So a business data is directly reflecting on the view. So this is how a two-way binding is working. And then coming to another example, I'll take something different. Let me take example 2. Yeah. So this is also covered. Then yeah, we'll come to next slide. So I think you guys have a small idea for what actually data binding is doing. So what actually here is this? So this will be explained in the next slide, so for you better understand. I'll cover 2 topics in the next slide, so you will get a better idea how it is working actually. Okay, so with keeping the base knowledge on the directives, we'll see what is filters. Yeah, I just want to make some text into some uppercase or lowercase, or I just want to limit the number of characters entering to some 5 or 10, or I just want to make the text should have only date type of stuff, and I just want to convert some string into date, or I just want to filter that text inside that. Like this kind of like these are the few features which is provided by Angular. Or you want to write your custom things, still you can write your custom things and you can do on top of that. So what actually the filter is doing? So this can be really explained with this example. Okay. First what we'll do is we'll just remove this stuff for your simplicity. Now what actually is there in this code of line? Okay, it is having you guys already know, like we are just including the library into your stuff, and then what you're doing, we are declaring the no, we are not declaring this, we are just keep this forgot this script for some time. Let's come to the body tag. What is having? Yeah, it is having ng app to tell the HTML or DOM to take this and Angular stuff. So we're just giving a name here. Okay, then coming to the controller, yeah, we'll see this, we'll park it for some time. So we know what is this, we know what is this, and we are just ignoring this for some time along with the script above, and we have this. So we'll take the parts of the code and we'll see what is happening here. So we have common idea of what is this. Like this is this is a variable, JavaScript variable, and it's an array with 2 sets of data, okay, in the form of JSON for easy understanding, and it is having user 1 and user 2 with a country and country. Okay, that's simple. Then we have for loop, like think like it's in Java or whatever for your understanding. Take an array and you just repeating or traversing over the array. What we'll write some for loop or somehow. Similarly, what we are doing is we are just writing and for each or whatever it is. we are taking each data in this and going on top of that. So data in users means I can give any name here. I can give test here. I can use it here. Okay, so I can give any name here. So data in users means it will get first instance of this, and it will be here. And then data.user means it will print the first thing means Rani, and then data.country means it will print India. Then it will again loop over top of that, and it will go to Raja, and it will print Australia. So this is how it is working. So if you will see what is actually happening, so that you will understand what is there in this thing. No, yeah, we'll see. See, it is just printing Raja and Rani and Raja and Australia. Okay, then what we will do? We'll just keep an order. This is an filter stuff. Order by. Order by is a kind of a filter stuff. What we are doing, just order it by user. User is what? User is this. I just want to see an order on top of that. So right now Rani India and Raja, then it is Raja because RAJ, and then will come later. So accordingly it will come. Then I just want to do entry pass on top of that, so I can do this Rani and India. Is India. So this is how the filter works. Then what we will do? Well, we'll see another concept in this. First I'll explain the old stuff so that you will have an idea how actually this is working. Then we'll see how this is working, so we can relate the stuff. Now we've just gone through this, right? Now we'll remove this stuff, and yeah, till I can remove. Then what is this? This is also a filter, but what filter it is doing? It is filtering the stuff what I entered. Okay, how it is useful? Let's see. Now what I have in a text area, I just give an input box here, right? So it's an NG model. I'm just passing this model to this filter stuff. So what I'm asking is filter the content with what I inputted. So I just input, see, because there is nothing like that in that. So if I give R is there, then A is there, N, yeah, because Rani it is, J, yeah, Raja, or I can view Austria. Yeah, see. So this is like a filter stuff. This is like we can also give an search text on the entire data we are displaying over there. So this is one of the nice feature of filter to see. Now, so we have seen how two kinds of filters are working, like in filter data, and also in the example I'll show you one more thing. Like what I'm trying to do is I'm just doing an uppercase of that, like this. See, it is printing uppercase. Like this is a default features which is given by the Angular, or you can use your own custom filters. These concepts can be covered in the classes for better explanations. Yeah, so we have covered what is filters and what is directives. Now we'll see what we parked aside. So we know what is this. Yeah, it's an app, and we have already gone through this, and we have already gone through this. Two kinds of filters what we are trying to do. Now what is a controller? A controller is a kind of stuff where we are binding a div content or a page to a specific functionality. Suppose I just want to split, like what I'm doing is it's a kind, it will help us in doing an MVC stuff where I'm just splitting my code or my page. Suppose I'm doing some registration page. Suppose displaying the users or registering the users, or yeah, I'll show you a better example for this, so you will get a best idea on that. If you can see this, it's a simple project. Okay, we have a party. What you're doing, we're just adding the parties and viewing the parties, adding the brokers and viewing the brokers, and generating the bills and viewing the bills. So there are functions or a code or logic to do actions on top of this, right? So I have a few stuff here I just want to do, and I'm just doing this particular successfully. Yeah, how it is doing, because there is a code concept inside that. What I'm doing is just splitting the code and giving a controller for that. So see, I'm just giving a main page. Sorry for the delay. Sorry, it's a broker page. Let me take a broker page. Okay, this is having the view part. Okay, and it is binded with broker.js, which will take care of hitting the rest on displaying the data, opening the stuff, everything. It will be taken care here. So I'm just segregating the code and I'm just logically mapping the code. But if you can see, I'm just including this script in the same page, like a single page application, right? So what I'm doing, I'm just including the code broker.js, then it will be in the same page. Okay, everything will be there in the same page, but we are just doing an MVC here. Okay, so this how this is working. Where are we? Yeah, here. So what we are doing, I'm just creating a controller for that. So controller is a, you know, like in MVC, a model, a view, a controller. This is what the controller is. Now what I'm doing, I'm just doing an filter data. I'm just setting with empty stuff, right? If I keep some Raja here, what it will do? Let's see. This will give you an idea how a controller, a view, and a model is together working here. Let's see. Where is that? See, by default Raja got filtered here because I set it in controller. So this how a controller is speaking with a model is representing in the view. Okay, I think you got a picture how it is working. So let's see from beginning so that you will get a better idea how these three are together relating on working out here. We just defined an app name here. What is this name? Yeah, this is the name of the body tag. So this full body is an Angular stuff. Okay, then what we are doing, we are just giving a module here. And what is this? These concepts are, this is a concept of module injection. Like I just want to use some third-party modules into this, I can inject it here. This is for that purpose. And then we are giving a name here, same name, and Angular is providing one complete module with a variable. I'm just declaring a variable for that so that I can use it wherever I want. So this will hold Angular stuff along with the third-party modules, what I'm including it here. Then I'll give an explanation for module stuff as well, like what is a module, so that it's a very interesting concept. I'll show you a small example how in real time a module injection is working. Let's see a cool feature of this. See this? Drag and drop. I'm just doing a filter and click auto sort. This is actually a third-party stuff. I'm just using AgGrid here on top of a customization. It's an open source. I customized it according to my needs. And yeah, some cool features like I just want to hide the stuff. This is, I don't know how it is possible. This is because of a module injection. I'm using some AgGrid stuff. I'm just injecting it into this. Then we'll see how it is working. So where are we? Yeah. So AgGrid. I just injected the AgGrid. Okay, and I imported the AgGrid into my index.html, and I injecting this AgGrid into my module. I'm using this module. Okay. So this is how it is working. I'm using this module for defining my controllers as well. So automatically, so this is the one I'm using. So it will have an AgGrid for drag and drop stuff and all. On top of that, what I'm doing, I'm using this variable for define the controller. Automatically, this controller is holding the capacity of showing this AgGrid stuff, and this controller will be used by this div. So from there to here, this has been navigating. So I'm using a third-party JS. I included this JS in my index.html, so it will be loaded into my browser. Then I'm injecting that module into my Angular, so that Angular is providing one component with all the features. With that component, I am creating a controller, and the controller is binded to a page. So the page is capable of showing up whatever the features binded in this. So this is how the module works. So it's a nice feature. So we'll see how it is working. This time it's just an idea. What is the capacity on of AngularJS? Like what are the things it can do? Yeah. So we got an idea what is app. Then with app, what we'll do? We'll just creating a controller, and I'm giving a name. I can give any name. So I'm just giving one name. And concept of scope we'll see in the next slide, but not now. Just forget about that. It's a scope variable, okay? And with that scope variable, I'm just defining the variables like a where. For this slide, think like it's a where there and where users or something like that, okay? So I'm defining one user variable with some array of stuff, okay? And it's being used here, same variable, okay? Then what is doing? I'm just creating one more variable called with value Raja. I'm just passing this. By default, it's a two-way binding stuff, right? So whatever I'm injecting from the front end, like from the view, it will be reflected in the controller. Same way, the controller, what I'm injecting, it will be there in the view. So how it is doing that? By a scope. Means it's a model. So I think this will give a base idea how these three components are working. So I think this slide covers what is an Angular stuff, how to define a controller, like what is defining a controller, how an app core entity here, like an entire ng. This is one more point, like an entire Angular project, there will be only one app. Okay. Then we can define a controller, and this is having the capability of communicating with the respective controller. Okay. There can be any number of controllers defined in one app. So yeah, this is how the three MVC are communicating with each other. Then coming to the slide back, yeah, so we covered data binding, we covered filters, then scope. Without scope, Angular is nothing. Like I can say like how a controller or a model or directive is communicating with each other, it's because of the scope. So you can say like it's joining of controller with the views. Yeah, let's see what is scope is doing. How a scope is doing, like a scope is, it should be the first parameter in the constructor, like it should be the first one by default. Scope should be the first one. That's one of the best steps we have to keep it in mind. Then what a scope actually is doing, scope is the one like acting as an MV, like it's like a model view, I can say, which is acting as an MV between these two. Between these two means like it's a controller and a view. So that communicating the data between that can be done with the scope. So if you can see, it's a scope one, which is actually holding this information. Scope is the one which is holding this information. Okay, this is how a scope is acting in between these two to make some relation in that. And there is one more nice concept of inheritance in scope as well. Yeah, why not Java? Java's Angular is also capable of doing that. Let's see how a controller, the scope is doing inheritance in this. Suppose we can define a controller. Suppose I can define multiple controllers. I can inject them in multiple child levels. Like an div having one controller, inside that it is having one more controller. Yeah, that's possible. So let's see how it is. Suppose, forget about this. Let's see this. What we have? We have a div. Okay, and we have two more divs inside that. Okay, then what it will do, because we have only one scope, then scope what it will do is it will automatically inherit the content into this if you are not overriding on top of that. So shape is a parent controller. Think like, because it is being injected as a parent one, means it's the first one, and then I am writing like this, means it is inside this. Okay, and it is inside this. So it's kind of like extend stuff, like this extending the stuff from the controller. We don't have to write any larger stuff. It's pretty simple. So what we have in all the places, we have only same variables. We didn't define any new. So automatically scope will get an distraction, like what is this? Because it is also having message here, it is also having message here, and it is also having message here. Because if you can see in the previous example, what we have just one scope. Like if I see this is there here, so scope can easily identify what to pick. But if it is common, then scope will definitely get turned out what to pick. So let's see. So we have gone through a view part, like what is there. Let's see the controller, how it has been defined. So by default we have this, yeah, Angular stuff. Then we created one app for that, and we started creating 3 different controllers. But if you see in the implementation, it has been inherited, but in script side it is just 3 independent stuff. But what is common here? It is having 3 different variables. Then how scope can define this, like which is what? Let's see how it is working. So yeah, they just gives them 3 different names for the controllers and 3 same message variables with 3 different stuff. What is saying? I'm a shape in a circle in a square. Okay, so it's a circle controller having the circle, square is having a square, shape is having a shape. And type is also, yeah, shape. We didn't define anything here, and square is there. So let's see how, what is the expected answer. We'll just guess it out from that, and we'll see and run what is, whether it is getting the same response or not. Okay, so that we'll see our understanding is right or not. First, it will execute this, right? So what we'll have, what is the message in shape controller? Let's see what is, yeah, shape controller. So message in shape controller. So this should be printed of type shape. So yeah, this will be printed, correct. Coming to circle controller, what will be there? Yeah, circle is there, and message is being overrated here. Like what is there here, it is being overrated. So it's a in a circle controller. So first line will be in a shape, then in a circle controller, because and the type is not being overrated, right? So I think it will be having shape only. And then again message is being overrated in the controller of square, so it will have in square controller. Again the type is being overrated here, not in this level, so it is being overrated in this level, so it will have like this. So our expected answer should be like this: in shape controller, shape, sorry, shape, and in circle controller, shape, in square controller, square. I should have this as an output. Let's see what is there. So, well, sorry, I think I have. Sorry, I think on this. See, in shape controller shape, in circle controller shape, because it is not being overrated in circle controller, and square controller it is square because it is being overrated. I think you got the concept of inheritance here. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, so as a framework it should have some standards, like it's not necessary to implement in the same way, but it is good to have some standard of maintaining the folder structure. So yeah, all your CSS stuff should be in one page, in one folder, like images in one folder, JS stuff in one folder, or you can even partition that. Like I'll show you some standard stuff how we are implemented. First I'll show you the base one, and I'll show you like a company level standards. So it's like an app where we're defining the app.js. Either you can keep it outside, okay, and it's all controllers are in one shot, and CSS will be in one shot, fonts will be in one shot, and HTML in one shot, images in one shot, JS, Yeah, what is the JS? Like what you're differentiating with? It's also JS, but it's a controller stuff. And these are the libraries or other stuff what I'm using it. Then yeah, services. What are the services I'm writing here? Are in one step. And yeah, this is other stuff. And the finally index.html. Generally, it is good to keep app and index in one page as a standard. So this is how a skeleton should work. Then let's recover like what we missed. Are we missing anything? So expressions we have seen like is an expression in this way. Yeah, this is called like how 1 plus 1 is doing this. It's a kind of expression. A simple example on that. And directives, yeah, directives are two kinds of directives, like an user defined and custom directives, or custom directives like ng app, ng model, what you have seen already. And custom other user defined directives are something like what we designed this for showing the stuff in the header stuff or repetitive stuff, like maybe directive multiple times. Okay, and yeah, module injection we have seen how third-party modules are being injected into our application. Then scope, yeah, we briefly defined on how scopes are doing its job by communicating between controller and the view. Validation stuff we didn't cover. Okay, this can be covered in the classes like form validations. Validation is a beautiful stuff here. So we can see, I can show you something. Try to show you whether I can try to show you. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So freight number, yeah, it can't be. See, I'm trying to type some. See, it is showing red color because it should be a numeric. Got the point, right? So when I'm trying to force it, trying to enter some data, it is going in error. And yeah, this is also one kind of beautiful stuff. Like see how automatically it's doing. See, I'm just calculating the freight into 4. So suppose I'll show you some simple number 2000 into 4 8000, and this is the they want some calculations on top of that. I just want to in 8000 I just want to pay 2000 now. What is the remaining balance? So I'll try to give some remaining balance on top of that. So it's got updated with 6000 balance I have to pay. And yeah, I forgot to tell you one beautiful concept of ng show and hide. Let's see. Okay, see this how it is working. So I'm just trying to give some data here because see we have a limited space here. I just everything in one page. So what I'm doing? So what are the text I'm giving? I'm just giving up and add bill. It got inserted. Okay. So this is not being. Sorry, I just clicked the wrong button. Okay. Then see this will be get now showed off. I got the record here. And that see in the same screen with a small space I can play with that according to the user need. He don't want to see the bigger screens in that. So this is how it works. So yeah, we have seen this, we have seen the data binding, we have seen the services like in REST call services. I'm just using it. Filters, routing we didn't cover, but it's a good concept. We can cover it in the latest in the real time stuff, the classes. And dependent injection we have seen, testing we have covered. It's a good concept. So yeah, that's how it works. So I think we have covered most of the features. One more thing before going there, sorry for that. We can also do some other stuff like this, device based. I can test the application in device based as well. See how it's a responsive. See, it's a responsive stuff. Okay, so with Angular I can easily build a responsive page as well. How it is being done we can see in the classes. Okay, so let's see in iPad Pro. It's good. Let me show you how it looks. Yeah, it's good. Okay, I think it's a so we can test this application as well. Okay, so where are we? So we are covered with skeleton, and if you guys have any doubts, you can reach out with the mails or you can ping me in Skype. Sorry, yourself. Sorry, I can see your questions. If you have any doubts, you can ask me, or you can chat over here. Okay. Then, yeah, what are the course concepts we are covering for this session? Is, yeah, first is MVC. A detailed, right now we have seen a high level stuff, right? So we'll see what is MVC and framework, how it is being implemented in JavaScript, and a detailed concepts of services, inheritance, and real-time users of inheritance and dependency injections in real time. Roots we didn't cover. It's a nice concept. How we are in a single page, how we are doing a multiple views in one page. That is covered in roots, nested roots, and directives and filters. Filters we covered, but it's a few things we covered. Most of them we have to cover. Then custom directives, how to write the custom directives, we'll see, and custom filters as well. Then, yeah, how to work with the third-party modules. I just show you like can drag and drop and stuff. ng-root, what is the difference between ng-root and ur-root? Very good concept is Angular with Bootstrap. I'll just show you a small here. Okay. If you guys can see, sorry. Okay, you are getting this pop-up, right? How it is working? This is because of the Bootstrap stuff what I'm including. It's a model in Bootstrap. So it is integrated with the Bootstrap. Okay, so it's a very good concept integrating the Bootstrap with Angular. And unit testing, how we can do the unit testing with Angular. And finally we'll try to do a good project in that. So see, we'll start from here, and we'll when coming in this position we should do a nice project. That's my agenda. So we'll discuss, we'll try to do one sample project along with the classes, and finally we'll try to take one new project. Okay, and we'll see how we can design the project in the last class. So that covers the most of the stuff. Okay, so before closing this, we'll see like why we have to go with the Kratoes, because we have some other stuff as well, but why we have to go with the Kratoes? Yeah, I personally prefer Kratoes because it's an online service. Like they always, because right now you can see like we are the experts with we are working with real-time projects with real-time clients and all. We know what are the client expectations on the projects when you're doing with the US stuff. What are the requirements? We know, like accordingly we can guide you or train you based on the stuff. Like if you go with a normal stuff, they know how to do with an Angular, but they don't know how to really implement the features. So if you can see drag and drop feature, it's a requirement from the client, but how we can integrate with the Angular, that nowhere we can get it, only with the real-time experience. So always the Kratoes deals with the experts from the real-time industries, so that they can give a better guidelines to the freshers who are coming to the industry. Then they are open with 25 by 7 support. We can reach out them anytime at any cost, no problem. Then yeah, with I think like once you are trained with real-time knowledge, I think you can get in real-time placements as well. Like you can easily go with a placement easily. Okay, then they will give a lifetime learning sessions, and they will provide an industry recognized certificates as well along with the course. So that helps you while going for any recruitments and all. Either we can refer you somewhere if you are good. Okay, so I think that's it. I don't know whether, yeah, sorry, I think yeah, almost like, yeah. So right now even Kratoes is providing services for Wipro, Infosys, and high level like top 5 MNCs in the market like Cognizant, Flipkart. They try to go to train these resources for there as well. So yeah, they have the industry knowledge as well. So we can wind up like for any queries or for registration, you can reach out these guys, or Kratoes will reach you for registrations and other stuff. So that's it, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.